Good evening. I'd like to call the regular Temple City City Council meeting of March 20th, 2018 to order. Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Councilmember Chavez.
Here.
Councilmember Fish.
Here.
Councilmember Yu.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mann.
Here.
Mayor Sternquist is absent.
I move to excuse Mayor Sternquist for costs.
A second.
And that's been moved and seconded. Mayor Sternquist is excused. We will move on to the invocation. Tonight we have the pleasure of having Muhammad Ahad from Masjid Jibril, a mosque in San Gabriel. He will be providing the invocation in both Arabic and English. That's probably a first for us.
Yes, it's wonderful.
That's great. Masjid Jibril was established in 1987. The mosque serves the needs of Muslims in San Gabriel, Alhambra, and surrounding communities. The mosque provides a religious and educational environment that meets the needs of the Muslim community. And just to announce, they do have an upcoming event in which they will be hosting a Ramadan iftar dinner on May 26th of this year. So, Muhammad, if we could please stand for the invocation.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. In the name of God, the most merciful, the compassionate. We begin our prayer by thanking God that He created us from a single pair of a male and a female, and made us into nations and tribes that we may know each other, not that we may despise each other. Verily, the most honored of us in the sight of God is He who is the most righteous of us. No white has any superiority over a black, nor does a black have any superiority over white. The only criterion for superiority and respectability is the one element of piety. O God, the everlasting and all-sustainer, we fervently call upon your mercy so that you may set right all our affairs and may not leave us to ourselves for the blink of an eye. Amen. Also, on behalf of Islamic Center of North America, I would like to request City Council to support the ongoing Stop School Bullying campaign. Almost 1 in 3 American children are bullied at school. With over 8,000 children going to the 7th school in our city, I request the Honorable Mayor to declare January 22nd as a Stop School Bullying Day in Temple City. Your support today will benefit our future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. And if we could remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, if I could ask our City Manager, Mr. Brian Cook, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Please place the flag. Please face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart and after me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 5, ceremonial matters. The first item is Temple Station Explorer Post 250. And we have the pleasure of having Deputy Oscar Cantu, who is the Explorer Coordinator. If you could please come to the front to introduce the Explorer program and team, it will be a great pleasure.
Yes, please.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I've had the privilege of being the Explorer Coordinator for a little under a year now, and I must say that's probably out of the groups that I've had to be a part of, they are hands down my favorite group to deal with. I have a set of teenagers at home, and like I was explaining to my captain, I'd rather spend time with these kids than my own kids sometimes. That's just, it's a lot of fun. It's easy work when you have kids that are committed, responsible, and like I said, wanting to do the job that they do for free. Hopefully one day, whether they decide to go into a career in law enforcement or any other career, they continue their path that they're going on now, and you know, they can stop by and either be my supervisor later on in life or, you know, somebody productive in the community, which I'm sure they will. I'm going to start off with my captain. They do have rank, and this is just based on their performance there at with the Explorers and their leadership abilities. Our captain, Yadira Cervantes. Our lieutenant, my right-hand man, and my right-hand explorer. As you can see, her left hand is not working. Brianna Ramirez. My lieutenant, I'm going to go down the road. I'm sorry, my sergeant. I'm already promoting her. Ariana Kasdan. Sergeant Jonathan Magianes. Yadira Castillo. Justin Lopez. Hema Rodriguez. Miss Blair Walters. Leah Castellanos. Haley Herrera. Mr. Oscar Baez. Gabriel Quintero. And Amber Marine Lorena. Just so you know, folks, all these, my explorers are all part of our patrol area, ranging all the way up from Duarte, Temple City High School students, Rosemead. So we've got them from all over. And again, these individuals have a great attitude and a great drive to be part of our law enforcement family. I know for a fact they absolutely love putting on their uniforms. Probably more than I do. And I know for a fact that the station, they're part of our family there at the station, which we like to call Team Temple, because we are all a team. And I know that they feel that pride in representing our station in whatever event we might have. They go through a tough 18-week academy every Saturday. So I know if I asked my kids to give up 18 Saturdays, it wouldn't happen. So just, from the very beginning, they're there putting in the time, and it just continues on with, competitions that we're getting ready for, ride-alongs, helping at the station. These are some great kids.
Great.
I'm sorry, one last thing. If you know of anybody, any young kids that want to join the program, please feel free to contact me at the station. Or any questions, I'll be available after the meeting.
Don't leave.
Deputy Cantu, the City of Temple City would like to present a certificate of recognition to Temple Station Explorer Post 250. In recognition of the program's positive effect on young people in the community and neighboring cities, the program is to be commended for helping young adults become more responsible, compassionate, independent, and self-confident. So it is my pleasure to present this to you, and if you could please join us and the rest of the council up here for some photos.
Absolutely, and of course, this wouldn't be possible without the support of our Captain Dave Flores.
Jerry will tell you. That's good. I can see everybody's face, that's perfect. Oh, that is great. Thank you.
You guys are so awesome. You look so beautiful and handsome and all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very nice.
All right. Moving on to our next item, we have an Arbor Week poster contest winners that we'd like to announce. The city conducted its annual Arbor Week poster contest for students in 3rd to 8th grades in early March of this year. The purpose of this event is to inform and educate the youth on the value that trees provide to building successful, healthy cities and neighborhoods. And so the winners of this year's contest, and if the winners could also come up to the front as your names are called, we'd like to get a photo with the rest of the council, and we also have some certificates to present to you. The winner from 3rd grade from La Rosa Elementary School is Brooklyn Perez.
Nice to have.
And the winner from the 4th grade from Cloverly Elementary School is Michaela Soto. And the winner from the 5th grade from Cloverly Elementary School is Casey Lee.
Now you gotta smile. Come on. Everybody smiles at once. There you go. Great, thank you. Parents, good? Okay. Let's have it.
And last but not least, from Temple City High School Student Club, the Future Business Leaders of America Student Club was nominated for City Council recognition by our city's very own Youth Committee. The Youth Committee wanted to bring to Council's attention the youths that are doing their part to represent not only their school, but the entire city. The Future Business Leaders of America Student Club is 30 members strong. They attended a sectionals competition in February and were recognized in several categories, including public speaking, marketing, management decision-making, business law, impromptu speaking, job interview, and healthcare administration. Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Fernando would like that.
The next event will be the state competition in Ontario. So if I could have maybe all the members of the club maybe come up, and you want to give maybe a short introduction of the members who are here to the city council. Come up to the podium on the side, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy Zhang, and I'm the president of Future Business Leaders of America and Temple City High School.
Hello, my name is Brandy Lee, and I'm the vice president of Temple City Future Business Leaders of America at Temple City High School. You want? Okay. Well, we actually have some of our cabinet members here, so I'd like to have them introduce themselves too.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rose Wang, and I'm the fundraising commissioner of FBLA at Temple City High School.
Hello, everybody. My name is Caitlin Dang, and I am the Public Relations Officer of FBLA at Temple City High School.
Hi, I'm Mason Zhao, and I'm the Secretary of Temple City's FBLA chapter.
Hi, my name is Megan Tan, and I'm the project chair for FBLA at TC.
Hello, everyone. I'm Josephine Wang, and I'm the treasurer.
Hello, my name is Aaron Su, and I am a member of the Temple City FBLA Club.
A really quick introduction to what our club does. We're more than a business club. It's not necessarily about business, but our main goal is to prepare our kids for their futures or give them idea of like what they want to do in their futures. And like you heard from our sectionals competition, there are many events such as healthcare administration or marketing or entrepreneurship, impromptu speaking, public speaking. So it's really just a club to prepare them for their futures and make sure they have a bright future ahead of them.
Great. So Brandy, are the competitions, does the entire club participate, or is it like an individual competition?
We have group events, but we also have people entering as individuals. And we're just a Temple City chapter, part of the Gold Coast, and this is a national competition.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, congratulations.
Wow, great. Well, congratulations. And please come up to the middle. The city council would like to present a certificate of recognition.
Mayor Pro Tem, just
yeah,
real quick.
Please, go ahead, Tom.
Just real quick, just so the public knows, you guys come on up. Come on up. Our youth committee this year decided that they wanted to recognize, of course, some of the groups that we don't always get a chance to see, members of our youth in our community. And this is our first recognition. Hopefully we'll have some more and we'll make it a continuing thing. So, and of course, those of you probably recognize Brandy, who is a member of our youth committee and does a lot of great work and has been for a couple of years. So we want to thank all of you for coming here, and of course we want to thank the youth committee for recognizing all the groups that do such an important job in the city. So thank you guys a lot for doing that. So, all right, good job.
So I'll just briefly read the certificate. In recognition of the leadership, dedication, and service you have shown in your school and community, the commitment you have shown does not go unnoticed. The Future Business Leaders of America Club is an extraordinary example for our community to follow.
Great, thank you.
And speaking of the youth committee, I just want to thank Councilmember Chavez for all his work in getting our youth committee to where they are now. They've come a long way.
Yeah, they have done a good job this year, so thank you.
Okay, great. So moving on to item 6, public comments on items not listed on the agenda. The city council will now hear public comments regarding items not listed. Are there any?
Lucy's trying to get up.
Oh, Lucy. Sure.
Okay,
Come on up, Lucy.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Mann. Good evening.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm sorry. And, not yet. And fellow council members. I just want to share some information that one of our fellow area leaders brought to us. She went to a meeting in the city of Glendora. This goes to the Taking Back Our Community, which I believe our city council voted unanimously to participate in. She brought back some materials that I guess they pass out at neighborhood meetings, and we're hoping to see if possibly our city will look into printing something similar, and we can then pass them out at neighborhood watch meetings, or in, even during concerts in the park or during National Night Out, any community event. So if I may just hand these to Peggy, and that's mainly what I'm here for.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to comment at this time?
It's getting colder.
Okay. Seeing none, I will close public comment. Item 7, the consent calendar. All consent calendar items may be approved in a single
Motion to
motion.
approve.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Are there any objections? Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Fish?
Yes.
Councilmember Yu?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Man?
Yes. Consent calendar has been approved unanimously. Moving on to item 8, public hearing, there is none. Item 9, unfinished business, there is none. New business, there is none. Communications, there is none. We have an update from our city manager.
Mayor Pro Tem Mann and members of the council, thank you to Ms. Liu for bringing that forward. Actually, on Thursday, I'll be attending a Contract Cities City Managers meeting where I will be getting an update from my colleague, Oliver Chi, the City Manager of Monrovia, who is graciously taken one of the leads with this group. So I'll be able to report back on some more information related to the group's activities as well. And then that's it for tonight, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on, we have an update from our city attorney, Mr. Eric Revelle.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, just a quick update on a Senate bill that I think you all should track. I'm not sure it's going to have any direct impact within the city itself, but it is a further example of how the state is ever encroaching upon your local authority as the land use regulator in town. SB 827 has to do with something called transit-rich housing projects. Transit-rich housing projects are essentially all residential projects built either within a half of mile of what's called a major transit stop, which isn't defined in the law. So we don't know if that's any bus stop or every bus stop or just a major transit hub like a bus station, or within a quarter of a mile of a stop on a high-quality transit corridor. We do know what that is under the law. That's a roadway that has scheduled bus stops at 15-minute intervals during peak hours. After a brief conversation with the city manager, we don't think that either Rosemead Boulevard or Las Tunas or Temple City Boulevard would meet that standard, but one of the things the bill does is take away the ability of the local agency to impose certain maximum restrictions on buildings that qualify. For example, transit-rich housing, a housing bonus would be given to these projects, and it would exempt them from maximum densities, maximum floor area ratios, maximum height, and would prescribe that buildings would be between 45 feet and 85 feet tall, depending upon their distance and the type of transportation available to them. There would be no maximum parking requirements that you could impose on these projects. That would be exempted from zoning that would allow a developer to expand an existing building to build out these height and floor area ratios. And it would also exempt certain other types of zoning that weren't deemed to be objective zoning requirements based on an external standard that the city and the developer could point to. All of those are, I think, troublesome developments. I mean, clearly the state has a mandate to expand affordable housing. It has been the position of the state legislature and the state administrative branch that California needs to provide housing for all of the population increase that California has. Unfortunately, one of the ways it's chosen to do that has been to gradually erode local land use control and to allow more permitted by right developments at an ever increasing density within the city. There are some requirements that the housing project would have to meet other than being within a certain distance of a transportation stop. For example, it would have to comply with local inclusionary housing requirements, local unit mixed development requirements. For example, a certain mix of 1 unit or 2 bedroom or studio units. It would require objective zoning. It would require the proponent or the applicant to prepare a relocation benefit plan, pay relocation benefits to any person that was going to be displaced from the project, and to offer what are called a right to stay guarantee. I think the intent of the legislation isn't really aimed at a suburban community like Temple City, but communities that are a little more dense and a little more urban, to allow for easier building, whether that happens or not. The reason I'm bringing this up to you tonight is this is still making its way through the legislature, and it can easily be tweaked just in a few definitions to make it apply in your city and other more suburban type cities that have tried to really moderate the density of their development. And so it's worth keeping an eye on. It's worth contacting your state legislatures to let them know how you feel about it. And I'm not saying that the bill is bad. I just want to let you know that there's an increasing flow of land use and housing legislation from the state trying to push cities to increase their density greater and greater all the time. And I know we've had discussions here on land use projects with people concerned about losing the quality of their neighborhoods and the single-family nature of it. Everybody needs to know that the state legislatures that you're electing are passing bills like this that want apartment buildings, condos, and ever higher buildings. That's the way we're going, especially this close to LA. So I can answer any questions you have on that, but I hadn't given you a report for some time and wanted to chime in since we had a fairly short agenda tonight. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Mr. Vale from council? No? Yeah, well, thank you for that report. I mean, we've seen some of what the state has done with the recent accessory dwelling unit. So that's an example of another one. Okay, moving on. Council reports regarding ad hoc or standing committee meetings. Do we have any to report?
Mayor Pro Tem Mann, I have a report to make. Councilmember Fish and I attended the School District City Standing Committee meeting this past Thursday. Also attended by Board President Larry Marston and Board Member Kenneth Nollenberg, as well as our City Manager Brian Cook and Superintendent Kathy Perini, as well as staff. 2 items were on the agenda. First was a bring back of a past item regarding the potential future use of the school district headquarters parking. I believe it was for in the event of when the construction starts on the library. So I know that Brian and Superintendent Perini have had some discussions, and they'll continue to do that. No final decision has been made, but they're still working on that. The second item on the agenda was discussion regarding school safety and security with all that's been going on, of course, in our nation with the terrible tragedies that we've had in the last few months now, of course. We wanted to open at least a discussion about what type of policies and procedures the school had in place or the district has in place, and in what way, if any, the city might be of any assistance. Superintendent Perini did present a very detailed report about policies and procedures that they have in place. For example, they have put in place a lockdown program to address issues, especially active shooter type of issues that may occur on the campus. We were pleased to find out that the district is also doing a risk assessment of all their campuses. They've hired a consultant who will report back on any potential risks, any holes that they may have in their procedures, and they will be sharing that with us in the next couple of months. So that will help us, I think, to understand what, if anything, we need to do in the future to keep our students safe. So that was a very big concern and will continue to be. One of our youth committee members, Charlie Dodge, those of you who remember, she's been to our meetings, did attend. She attended on behalf of some of the students at the high school. As you know, Charlie is also the editor of the school newspaper Rampage, and she came with some very good ideas and comments. And I maybe pass this over to Nan, because I know Nan did witness or did watch the school walkout. As you know, the schools, the nationwide school walkout, which was last week, March 14th. And maybe you want to share what you saw and your observations there.
Yeah, I did want to say I did watch it live on Facebook. Their ASB was live streaming it, and Charlie Dodge was one of the moderators. And I just have to say the students did an incredible job. They brought up very, very interesting and vital information from their perspective. They did have people there to get them to register to vote. They can sign up at 17 and a half to get involved in their community. They did encourage them to go to city council meetings, go to school board meetings, and one of the students even encouraged their fellow students to get off their phones and to take part in what's going on in the community and not be so, I mean, teenagers, they know they're self-absorbed, they know what's going on, but you know what? Now it's coming to light, they're getting involved. I thought it was very well organized. Like I said, they had about 10 students that got up and spoke, and it was just amazing. These kids know what's going on. They know, and they're scared. And it's our responsibility to do something to help them feel safe when they go to school. So I think our meeting with the school district was very productive. The school district will be telling us in detail all of the plans that they have, and they have been on it. I mean, Kathy Perini has been on it. I mean, they shared with us a lot of different things that, the experts know, and that's what we need to do. We need to bring in the experts now. It's time. We can't mess around with this anymore. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so as I would echo that, we were pleased, I think, with the discussion that we had, and as I said, we'll hopefully follow up on this to continue. It's certainly an ongoing thing, and something that certainly we can partner with the school and how we can help them and what they can do, and just to make all of our students safe. They do go to the schools, but obviously they're residents of our city as well. So, all right, that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Great. All right, thank you both for that report. Are there any other reports from other standing committees? No? Okay, then moving on to 15, council items separate from the city manager's regular agenda. Councilmember Yu, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment that even though the Mayor Sternquist is not here tonight, but I want to congratulate her on a very well delivered State of the City address last week. The theme is building our story. For those of you who actually happen to miss out on seeing the presentation, you can go to our city website. It's there. You can watch a video or read the transcript.
Wonderful.
Right, that's
Thank you. Councilmember Chavez?
Thank you. I would like to also echo that as an aside. I think all of us know we'll probably be closing our meeting tonight in honor of Cindy's mom, who passed away the night after the State of the City address. And I know she had her mind set on that, and she did a great job given what she had to go through personally. Also, as you guys remember, we closed our last meeting in honor of Dan Snell. Unfortunately, his wife, June, Jerry, how many years were they married? I know it was 73 years married. She unfortunately passed away a few days ago as well. So, we were given our draft of our senior master plan, and who's on the front but Dan and June.
That's so
I can't think of a
amazing.
better picture. Kathy, thank you for doing that. That's awesome.
It was
And
great.
I as all of us who have been married and probably can appreciate that if that's how you're going to go, that's probably the best way to do it, because they belong together no matter where it is, and hopefully they're together again. So, our prayers go out to them and their family, of course, but, we'll miss them both, so.
It was 14 days apart, was
Yeah,
it?
but I think it was 14 days
Wow.
apart
Wow,
that they passed away, wasn't it, Jerry?
2
weeks, yeah, so, good people, very good people, so. They're together again, so that's the important thing. And again, just to give a shout out, to our youth committee, they've been doing some great work, and I think we have a meeting this week, I think, as well, and they think they did, since the last meeting, they did another one of their meetings, pop-up meetings. They did it at the high school. This was on leadership, and they got a lot of people to attend and talk about leadership from a youth perspective, and they did a very good job. So hopefully we'll hear some of that. I think we're probably due for another report from them maybe in the next few weeks. Maybe we kind of a wrap-up report. They're coming up on the close of their calendar year, and maybe we can gather them and report out on what they've been doing for the last few months. So. And that's all I have. Thank you.
When is their last meeting?
It'll be in May.
May?
Probably the third week in May. Do we have the date already? We'll give everybody an opportunity.
It's usually on a Thursday.
Yeah, it's
right?
usually on a Thursday, usually the third Thursday, or we've been kind of trying to do it the third Thursday of May 24th.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll let everybody know. So it's
Okay,
a
that'd be
special
great.
meeting that you all can attend, of course, and share with them. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Fish?
Just a couple things. I had the pleasure of attending Temple City High School's production of The Little Mermaid. Wanted to congratulate them. It was a beautiful production, as always, very well attended. We have some very talented students in our high school we should be very proud of. And I know they work long, long hours after school, nights and weekends. And of course, Mr. Byers is right there. So I wanted to congratulate them again. And then also I wanted to congratulate Mayor Sternquist on a very successful mayor's prayer breakfast. We had our first annual prayer breakfast, and I wanted to just thank publicly First Baptist Church, which allowed us to have their venue, and of course, our local Kiwanis and Women's Club that were our hosts. So I think it was very, very successful. We had about 80 people, which is very good for a very first event. So Mayor Pro Tem, think about it if you want to do it next year. It was very successful, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Fish. And I want to echo that. The mayor's prayer breakfast was certainly a success. It was great to see. It's a great reminder of how diverse the congregations are within our city, and to see them all come together at 7 a.m. in the morning was pretty phenomenal. So, yeah, I want to congratulate everyone who was able to make that happen. I also want to echo Councilmember Yu's comments. I do want to congratulate Mayor Cynthia Sternquist on a very fine State of the City address, touching on a lot of the highlights and many exciting things on the horizon. So I think for the coming year, we have many great things to look forward to. I also want to just briefly mention we had a neighborhood watch meeting last Thursday, which Councilmember Chavez and I had the pleasure of attending at the Temple Beth David. It was a pretty fantastic turnout considering the size of that facility. I believe they said roughly 30 people RSVP, but about 90 people showed up.
Oh, that's great.
So they started rolling out tables because there just wasn't enough seats.
That's great.
So I'm very glad to see our community so engaged with Neighborhood Watch and watching it grow. And I want to thank our sheriff's deputies, our dedicated deputies, and everyone from the sheriff's department, as well as our Neighborhood Watch leaders for keeping that program growing and expanding and always evolving to meet the needs of our community. And speaking of that, we also, next Wednesday morning, we have our monthly law enforcement meeting at 7 a.m. here in the community room. For those who are not aware and want more information and direct reports from the sheriffs, that's the meeting that the city council meets with them, and we go over crime stats and other important updates. So I would encourage everyone who hasn't been to one to try to go to one. We had a very successful turnout last month where I've never seen that many people show up. So I'm hoping we'll keep replicating that success. And see, just two more things. There is an Easter egg hunt coming up at Live Oak Park on Saturday, March 31st. I mention that because I always want to take my son there. Last year,
Oh,
he...
come on, we know you want to go.
That, okay, you read, Councilmember Chavez read my mind. Yeah, last year he didn't really know how to chase after the egg, so he
There
was
you
just kind of...
Oh, he'll get it quickly.
He stood in one place and picked up maybe 2. So I think maybe this year around he gets the point of it, so he's gonna go after more. So looking forward to that. That always has a fantastic turnout, and thank you, Kathy, and the rest of Parks and Rec staff for really making that so successful year after year. And I believe there's a pancake breakfast also in the morning as well. So looking forward to that. And finally, last but not least, just a reminder, our next council meeting on April 3rd, the agenda is really just the annual council reorganization. So for those of you who are interested in coming, I would encourage you to go. If you are not aware, every year the council reorganizes and we select a new mayor and mayor pro tem. So hoping those of you who can make it will make it, because usually we get a pretty decent turnout. And there will be a small reception following the reorganization over at the Women's Club, just right next door. So moving on, we have reimbursement of expenses to city officials. We have none. 17, additional public comments not listed on the agenda. Do we have anyone who would like to make some comments? Okay, seeing none. So as Councilmember Chavez mentioned earlier, we would like to adjourn tonight's meeting in the memory of June Snell, and also Mayor Cynthia Sternquist's mother, Yesela Rodriguez. And we are adjourned.
Thanks. Good job.